Europe lay suffocating, a vast continent gripped by the iron fist of Nazi tyranny. For years, the shadow of the swastika had stretched across nations, crushing hope, extinguishing freedom, and leaving an indelible stain of suffering. Yet amidst the despair, a flicker of resistance burned, fueled by the collective will of the Allied forces. Battered but unbowed, they huddled in war rooms, poring over maps, planning an operation so audacious, so immense, it seemed to defy the very laws of possibility. The human cost already paid in this brutal conflict was staggering, a grim tally of lives lost and futures shattered. This immense sacrifice, however, only intensified a burning, unyielding desire for liberation, a desperate yearning to reclaim a continent from the clutches of oppression. Standing as a formidable, seemingly impenetrable barrier against this Allied ambition was Hitler's Atlantic Wall. Stretching for thousands of miles along the European coastline, from Norway to the Bay of Biscay, this was no mere defensive line. It was a fortress carved from concrete and steel, bristling with mines, barbed wire, and heavy artillery. Pillboxes dotted the landscape, their unblinking eyes scanning the horizon, while intricate networks of trenches and underground bunkers promised a bloody welcome to any invader. The psychological impact of this barrier on Allied morale was profound. It loomed, a monstrous, insurmountable obstacle, a testament to German engineering and a symbol of their resolve. Fear and doubt gnawed at the edges of commanders' minds, whispering questions. Is this even possible? Can any force breach such a formidable defense? Even the most seasoned soldiers, veterans of countless battles, felt a chill of trepidation at the thought of confronting such an unyielding behemoth. To overcome this seemingly unassailable defense, the masterminds of the Allied intelligence orchestrated Operation Fortitude, a brilliant and audacious deception plan designed to mislead Hitler about the true location of the impending invasion. It was a symphony of lies, a carefully constructed illusion involving phantom armies, their ranks swelled by inflatable tanks and dummy landing craft. Fake radio traffic buzzed with coded messages, creating a cacophony of misleading information, all pointing to a fictitious invasion force poised to strike at the Pas de Calais, the narrowest point of the English Channel. Crucially, double agents, their loyalty a carefully crafted facade, fed this misinformation directly into the eager hands of German intelligence, weaving a web of deceit so intricate that even the most suspicious minds would be ensnared. The personal stakes for the intelligence officers involved were astronomically high. A single slip, a misplaced word, a moment of doubt could unravel the entire charade, sealing the fate of millions and condemning Europe to prolonged subjugation. They carried the weight of the world on their shoulders, their every action a calculated gamble against the might of the Third Reich. Meanwhile, across the English Channel, the human element of this colossal undertaking waited on the brink. Soldiers, young and old, from every walk of life, awaited the order. Their letters home, filled with forced cheer and unspoken anxieties, spoke of the quiet fears that gnawed at their resolve, and the fervent hopes for a swift end to the war. They clutched worn photographs, their eyes lingering on the faces of loved ones, a poignant reminder of what they were fighting for. The camaraderie forged in the crucible of training, a bond hardened by shared hardship and whispered dreams, was their shield against the terror of the unknown. This brotherhood, soon to be tested by fire, was their last solace before the storm. And a storm it was. The critical role of weather in the invasion plans became agonizingly clear. A narrow window of opportunity, dictated by tides, moonlight, and calm seas, was rapidly closing. Eisenhower's headquarters buzzed with tension as meteorologists delivered devastating news. A furious storm was brewing, threatening to push the operation to the very edge of disaster. The agonizing decision to delay, made with a heavy heart, meant rescheduling the invasion, pushing the entire enterprise back by days. The fate of the invasion hung precariously on a weather forecast, a cruel twist of fate for an operation meticulously planned for months. Finally, the storm broke, its fury subsiding, leaving behind a fragile calm. But with the clearing skies came a new terrifying uncertainty. Had the Germans in the interim seen through the meticulous deception? Or were they still blind, their eyes fixed on the phantom armies of Calais, oblivious to the true target that lay just hours away? As the last vestiges of the storm receded, a new kind of darkness descended upon the Norman coast. It was the night of infiltration, the moment the airborne vanguard took to the skies, their planes a droning symphony against the thrum of anticipation. Thousands of paratroopers, the spearhead of the invasion, dropped into the inky blackness behind enemy lines. Their entry was a chaotic, disorienting plunge into the unknown, a terrifying descent into enemy territory. Their critical mission was clear: secure vital bridges, disrupt German communications, and sow confusion amidst the unsuspecting defenders. Individual acts of heroism and sacrifice unfolded in the dead of night, often isolated and outnumbered as men fought to achieve their objectives. Many found themselves scattered far from their drop zones, battling fierce German resistance in small, desperate skirmishes, the terrifying reality of scattered landings adding to the disarray. Yet amidst the chaos they carved out precarious footholds, tiny pockets of Allied presence in a hostile land. Simultaneously, across the churning waters of the English Channel, an immense naval armada converged, a sea of hope and fear. Thousands of ships, from mighty battleships to humble landing craft, carried the hopes of the free world. The sheer scale of this invasion fleet was a sight both awe-inspiring and terrifying, a testament to an unprecedented logistical undertaking. Inside the cramped steel bellies of the landing craft, soldiers battled seasickness, the acrid smell of diesel fuel mingling with the mounting dread in their stomachs. Many stared silently at the faces of their comrades, a shared understanding passing between them, an unspoken acknowledgement of the monumental task ahead. These were the final moments of quiet reflection, snatched before the ramps would drop, unleashing them onto the beaches of Normandy. Then came Omaha Beach, a name that would forever be etched into the annals of history as a crucible of courage. The brutal reality of this particular stretch of coastline unfolded with horrifying speed. Unexpectedly strong German defenses, untouched by the preliminary bombardment, unleashed a devastating crossfire upon the initial waves. The first men to hit the sand were decimated, pinned down by relentless machine gun fire, the invasion threatening to collapse before it had even truly begun. It was a desperate struggle for survival on those blood-soaked sands, heroes emerging from the chaos, making impossible decisions under fire. Commanders faced with what seemed like insurmountable odds pushed their men forward, often leading by example, their voices hoarse above the din of battle. While Omaha became a symbol of desperate struggle, contrasting experiences unfolded on the other beaches. On Juneau, Gold, Sword, and Utah, the Allied forces met varying degrees of resistance. Some sectors faced fierce opposition, a brutal mirror to Omaha's plight, while others saw more rapid, albeit still bloody, advances. The methodical, often brutal push inland began, securing vital objectives. Each yard gained a testament to immense sacrifice. The crucial role of naval bombardment became evident, its thunderous roar suppressing German defenses, paving the way for the infantry. Early skirmishes in the hedgerows and villages marked the beginning of a relentless grind, the psychological toll of house-to-house fighting quickly mounting. Back in their war rooms, the German response was a slow, confused awakening. Initial disbelief and confusion gripped German commanders, many still convinced that this was yet another diversion, the true attack still destined for Calais. Hitler's delayed reaction, fueled by his unwavering belief that the main thrust was yet to come, proved catastrophic. The slow, fragmented deployment of German reserves, hampered by overwhelming Allied air superiority and the lingering effects of the deception, allowed the beachheads to solidify. As the sun began its descent on D-Day, painting the sky with hues of fire and smoke, the Allies had secured a precarious, hard-won foothold. Yet a new chilling reality emerged. The Germans were finally mobilizing their panzer divisions. The question hung heavy in the air. Would the hard-won gains hold against the coming counterattack, or would the Normandy beaches become a graveyard for the Allied dream? The sun rose on June 7, 1944, revealing a grim landscape where the hard-won beachheads faced their next equally brutal challenge, holding the line. German counterattacks, fierce and determined, hammered against the Allied positions. Tanks rumbled, artillery roared, and infantry clashed in the dense, claustrophobic hedgerows of Normandy, known as the Bocage. This was a brutal close-quarters grind, a war of attrition where every field, every farmhouse, every meter of ground was contested with horrific violence. Casualties mounted on both sides, a testament to the relentless ferocity of the fighting. Yet the Allied soldiers, exhausted but resolute, refused to be pushed back into the sea. Their determination was an unyielding wall against the German onslaught, a testament to their courage and the belief in their cause. Behind the front lines, an equally monumental struggle unfolded, the battle of logistics and reinforcement. Supplying hundreds of thousands of men, their vehicles, ammunition, food, and medical supplies across a war-torn channel was an unprecedented undertaking. The ingenuity of the Allied engineers shone brightly with the rapid construction of the Mulberry Bee artificial harbors, massive floating structures that allowed ships to unload directly onto the beaches, bypassing the need for captured ports. Simultaneously, the Pluto project began pumping fuel directly from England to Normandy, a critical lifeline for the advancing armies. Crucially, Allied air superiority became the guardian of these supply lines, sweeping the skies clear of German aircraft and pounding enemy positions, ensuring the flow of men and material remained unbroken. This logistical genius was the silent, indispensable engine driving the entire operation. For weeks, the war in the Bocage became a bloody stalemate, a frustrating quagmire that tested the patience of the Allied command. The dense, ancient hedgerows, perfect for German defensive positions, turned every advance into a slow, costly crawl. The frustration was palpable until General Patton's Third Army was finally unleashed. This marked the beginning of Operation Cobra, a concentrated aerial bombardment followed by a powerful ground offensive designed to punch a hole through the German lines. The breakout was swift and decisive. Patton's tanks, moving with astonishing speed, bypassed the German defenses, creating chaos and panic. This rapid advance led to the encirclement of vast numbers of German forces in the Falaise pocket, a catastrophic defeat for the Wehrmacht. The Battle of Normandy had reached its turning point, and the German front began to collapse. The cost of this victory was staggering. The Normandy campaign, from D-Day to the liberation of Paris, claimed countless lives. The fields of France became the final resting place for young men from across the globe, their sacrifices etched forever into the landscape. Yet from this immense suffering emerged the triumph of liberation. The liberation of Paris, a city held captive for 4 long years, became a symbolic and emotional victory, signaling to the world that the beginning of the end for Nazi tyranny had arrived. There was still a long, hard road ahead to Berlin, but D-Day stood as the undeniable pivot point of the war, the moment when the tide irrevocably turned. Reflecting on D-Day, the echoes of history resonate with profound lessons about leadership, sacrifice, and the indomitable human spirit. It serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of unity in the face of tyranny, of meticulous planning, and of the sheer courage of ordinary individuals called upon to do extraordinary things. The enduring impact of D-Day shaped the post-war world order and reaffirmed the values of democracy and freedom. It stands as a testament to what can be achieved when nations unite against a common enemy, a powerful reminder that even the most formidable walls can be breached by unwavering resolve.